All right. Welcome to the Lost in Phoenix podcast. We are Lost in Phoenix. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff today, which seems to be the usual, which is all right. It's fun.
The usual MO.
I enjoy it. My name is Seamus. Today I'm joined by Josh, as always. How you doing, bud?
Doing excellent.
All right. So, today we're going to be talking about what, Josh?
Oh, definitely tons of random shit. First of all, we could talk about that cornucopia of disastrous what? That is Kayne West's new fashion line.
Yeah, I just showed this to you.
I'm not sure if I just expressed that in a legible manner. Probably not, but let me rephrase. We're going to look at Kayne West's new fashion line that he debuted recently.
Yep, Yeezy Season 8.
Yeezy Season 8, that's what it is.
It was...
okay, so right now we're just looking at a bunch of anorexic twigs with cloths hanging off of... I'm just kidding. That's not the case.
Some models of varying beauty.
You mean they don't call them anorexic twigs? That's not what they call them?
I don't believe so. I don't believe that is the correct term.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so this release...
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, they did this fashion show in Paris over the weekend, I believe.
Okay, so this is very recent.
It's very recent.
Is Yeezy like a subsidiary of another big company, or is it like its own independent entity now?
It's its own independent entity is produced by Adidas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he has the whole infrastructure of Adidas and their factories and their he probably has a whole team there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So Yeezy Supply, I believe, is the company, has Adidas backing them.
Yeah.
So they have all of the different manufacturers and factories and all the different
all the little slave labor.
Yeah, pretty much. All the different materials that Adidas uses.
Yeah.
And some that they don't even use, but they have kind of in the backlog or in the factories.
Huge R&D budget.
Yes.
Adidas probably has
huge R&D budget.
Yeah, every year to kind of, you kind of have to be on the cutting edge of those new, where these trends are going and just materials. And that's like, I think we were talking about a few podcasts ago, that's going to be important in the future. Mm-hmm. And I think Adidas actually is at the forefront of that idea.
Yeah, I feel like they are.
Yeah, like actually being able to bring a pair of shoes back to the store and, they're your shoes that are custom to your foot.
Right.
And then when they start to break down, you can bring them into the store and they can just, so instead of buying a whole other fucking...
Yeah, new pair of shoes, you just have a new pair made for you right there.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
But I mean,
I really enjoy it.
Think about how many wealthy people there are in the world, like rappers, entertainers, people in general who love shoes. Like, you ever seen the shoe closet of somebody who's really wealthy? It's just like,
it's ridiculous,
fucking everywhere. So you're not going to see it as much from those people.
No, I think that the like recyclable shoes are going to be more for like the common person. Yeah, they're going to be like $150, maybe towards $200 for the beginning part, and then they're just going to go down in price.
But that's almost like that's okay, because mostly what the planet is comprised of is common people. Yeah, common persons.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, but Nike actually just recently showed off a new line of shoes that they're doing called Space Hippie.
Hippie.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. So what they're doing is they're taking all of the like broken down materials from their factories. So all the unused foams, all of the like scrap pieces of fabric.
Is that these right here that we're looking at?
This is them. I will put them up on the screen now. Maybe, I don't know.
That is wildly interesting.
Yeah. So
are these for sale now?
Not yet. I am going to try and get a pair of these because I find them very interesting in the construction.
Oh my god, these are so bizarre and then a very cool way. Could you click on these ones real fast?
These ones?
No, the ones that right above.
Oh yeah. So these ones have.
Those are fucking awesome. Yeah, I like them.
They're really cool. These are the Space Hippie number 3s or 03.
That's such an appropriate name for them. Like what I'm looking at is is the perfect embodiment of like a space age hippie look. It has all the hippie aspects to it, but fuck, dude.
Yeah,
that's a good looking shoe.
They're really, really cool.
Fucking wild. And that's made of all scraps.
Yeah. So all
made
the
from trash.
Yeah, pretty much. All the foam is reclaimed foam that they have cut off to make the foam or midsoles that they already make. So it's all of the scraps put into and compressed into that midsole.
That's
all the plastic on there is all reclaimed plastic from like jackets and pants and shit like that. A bunch of different stuff. And then the fabric that they use is all from their t-shirts and their what do they call it? I think it's fly knit stuff.
Click on that real fast. I want to see what that is.
These ones, they're customs. Those are all right. Yeah, those are all right.
I saw shiny, bright objects. Those are just the Jordans, right?
Yeah, looks like Jordan 1 mids. Or no, they're Nike Dunks.
But that's really interesting. I wonder how much of the new Kanye West line that we're viewing is comprised of.
Probably not much. I doubt.
Can you zoom in on this? Oh my God!
This parka wearing woman.
This outfit probably cost $10,000.
Probably. I don't know about 10,000.
It looks like it's like the type of woman that would buy this would live in a Muslim country, like a wealthy Muslim woman, because it covers most of your face in the same way that what is it called, a parka?
A burqa?
Burqa.
There's like two different ones. There's a hijab and a burqa, I believe. Or hijab's the head covering. It's weird.
I wonder if Kanye West has some sort of ridiculous abstract reasoning for why he would make a collection where half of the pieces covered your face. He was like, yeah, man, we're living in this increased global surveillance society. So,
well, that's kind of it.
Is that really
a little bit? So back in like season 2, I think, or season 3, the whole idea was post-apocalyptic.
Oh.
So that's when you had those like weird shows where everybody was kind of wearing these tan colors.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of standing in a warehouse and all of their clothes were just like ripped up and destroyed and distressed. Yeah. And that was the whole idea. This is what people are going to wear in the future because nobody's going to have any money and the earth is going to be destroyed. So it's post-apocalyptic. So these are like the last tendrils of what clothing should be.
That's interesting.
It's disgusting.
It's very interesting. Oh my goodness.
But it's all like loose fitting stuff. And so I think with this season, he's kind of going more towards like.
This is like high fashion.
Yeah, it's high fashion, but at the same time, I think it's more of like, what if it wasn't a hot post-apocalyptic world, but it was like cold, so it's like winter fashion, but nobody has any money and you're kind of like throwing together whatever you can find.
That's kind of interesting. You know what, I have to say, I'm not a fan of a lot of the tops, but I think that the pants and especially all the boots that these girls are wearing are kind of interesting.
Yeah, people are making fun of the boots.
I like those actually.
Yeah,
on a chick, of course. I wonder what the inside is like. I wonder if it's super comfy or if it's like.
It's probably the same material. So it looks like it's
Uggs.
Yeah.
You ever wore a pair of Ugg boots?
I have not.
Dude, they're just super comfortable.
Don't be saying that.
I'm
Josh.
serious, bro.
Don't say that.
I'm dead serious, dude. It's like walking on a cloud.
I felt inside of them. It's all fur lined.
It's very nice.
Yeah. But people have been making fun of the boots because they look like Walmart shoes.
I don't
Almost
know.
like Walmart would produce these.
What they look like is a Walmart sleeping bag was cut up and then used as the top of the shoes that hug the ankle.
Yeah, I think they look cool from the side. They're these orange ones that look really cool. Yeah. So I had a better photo of those. But the orange ones look pretty cool.
So for the person listening that can't see what we're watching, what would you give this, like on a 1-10 scale? What do you like it at all? Or do you think it's just an abortion? Where are you on the abortion like scale?
I think it's interesting. I wouldn't ever wear any of Kanye's clothing.
Is that his clothing right there too?
Yeah, this is season 3.
That's just bullshit.
Yeah. So
it's ridiculous.
It was before, it was a lot of like loose fitting clothing. Now it's kind of getting more to the form fitting stuff.
Yeah.
I would not wear it when it was this.
Yeah.
There's certain aspects like this. The hoodie's nice.
Yeah.
It's very oversized, but it is nice. This sort of stuff I could care less for. This like weird muslin sort of like fur material I could care less about.
It looks so super itchy.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what the...
It might be wool. It's just they sheared a sheep completely around its face and just made arms out of the back. That's what it looks like.
How many sheep had to die to make that fucking jacket right there?
It's probably 2.
Probably 2 whole sheep.
Well, they don't kill them. They just shear them. They take the wool right off them.
No, Kanye would demand that they be killed.
I don't think so.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, you don't kill the Lamb of God.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, so that is what it is.
Yeah.
It's what is that, season 8, so people could check it out? Can you put like a link to one of these? I'll put a link these things here.
What's the one I'm looking at? It's called WWD. It has the best like look at the female clothing from the show. Yeah. There's another one that has a lot more photos that are pretty much the same, but I'll link these in the description because that's a lot easier for people to look at.
I feel if like you want to. It's the same thing as, like, have you ever heard of or been to, like, what is it? I think it's a car expose where every year car manufacturers display their concept cars and cars they're working on.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I've, like, for the last 5 or 10 years, I always, I see footage from those shows and I'm like, oh, that's an awesome looking car.
Right.
But then I never see those cars on the road. I feel like it's almost the same thing as when I see these fashion lines.
Right.
Like, who are the people that are wearing this stuff?
Nobody. So,
because nobody in their right mind would pay the fucking kind of money. I mean, I'm sure there's probably people that would, but it's
one of those things that I've seen multiple times where fashion shows aren't, like, high fashion shows.
Yeah.
Aren't the clothes that are made there aren't made to be worn.
Yeah.
They're made for the artistry of saying this is what can be done with these materials.
So dumb.
It is and it isn't, because it's like a painting, kind of.
Yeah, but it's just...
If somebody makes a painting like that banana, right?
You don't think there's anything that's like, you don't think it's a little bit self-indulgent or like up its own ass?
Oh, it's 100% self-indulgent.
I feel like
it's ridiculously.
I feel like actual art, like, okay. So the kind of art world that's depicted in Velvet Buzzsaw, like, there's definitely a certain level of, like, we're all sucking each other's dicks in this bullshit charade when you're talking about art, fine art, high dollar art.
Right.
But I feel like that's actually significantly more respectable and less corny than the whole high fashion show world. I feel like that. I'm just like, for the most part, you just see these collections over the years by the top companies, Chanel, Versace, all the big players, and you see that shit that they're putting out, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Who would wear this monstrosity? I mean, occasionally you see something that's decent in the collection, like maybe one thing, or at best 3 things.
Yeah, maybe.
But for the most part, it's like, what the fuck am I looking at? You took all that time to make that, then you pay these models big money to come here and wear this, and
well, that's the point of it.
Jesus Christ.
I find it really interesting when I look at different fashion shows, because it never is anything fashion. Yeah, because it's never anything anybody would wear. And
it's just more for the artistry, like you're saying.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, but then there are some companies, like there's one called Sakai. It's a Japanese brand. Where it's this Japanese woman who was starting to become a mother and didn't like the clothing that all of the mothers were wearing when she would go and like take her daughter or son to like daycare, because they all dressed like shit. Yeah. They dressed like they were moms in Japan, and she didn't enjoy that because she was a fashion designer.
I was in a band called Moms in Japan once.
Oh my God.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. But she didn't want to dress like them anymore because she was a fashion designer before, and she saw that these brands that she really liked weren't designing clothes targeting her demographic.
Yes.
Right. So she started a fashion brand that targeted her demographic. So it was nice clothing, but it had more of a fashion and a function to it. Yeah. So it's like a jacket, but inside the jacket are like Velcro patches, so you can put stuff in it. Yeah.
I like that.
It's really interesting.
Everything about that story is cool. That's, to me, is like if you have to have a world where fashion shows exist, I feel like that's actually really acceptable. It was, the mother of all great invention. She's like, I love this. I don't love the way this fashion is looking. Let me just create my own shit.
Yeah.
And then she made a whole line. That's great. That's a great story.
Yeah.
More what I'm talking about is like these fucking legacy fashion brands. They're just up their fucking ass. Like, oh, look at what we designed now. There's like no.
Well, that it is for the artistry at that point. It's to show off these are the materials that we're working on. This is what we think we can use in the future to make something that could be cool.
That's like, you know what it looks like? It looks like...
Ah, there she is.
The kind of shit that you see in a Versace fashion show is like the sort of thing a Scientologist would wear 450 years from now.
Yeah. Pretty much.
A rich Scientologist 450 years from now will wear the fashion that those companies are putting out.
Yeah. It's now. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay,
it's
so
a weird situation.
This is that lady's shit right here?
Yeah, this is Sakai brand.
Okay.
So it's
that's some good looking shit.
A lot of like mismatched colors and fabrics and different patterns, but it's all just like, it's a jacket.
Is that a guy or a girl?
That's a girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just a jacket, but it's like you have this pattern and then that pattern and all these other things.
Splice the jacket.
Yeah, and then like business pants, but they're also kind of jean-like because they have like a rip in them. I don't know. I think it's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And she's worked with a bunch of different brands like Nike. This is cool. The new.
I like her already.
Pegasus.
I like her story.
Yeah, it's great.
That's her collab with Nike right there?
Yeah, this is the second one. The Pegasus Vaporfly SP.
Those are fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah. they're
I don't see enough of that kind of shit in the States, man. I feel like the Asian world is definitely more privy to some of these cooler, abstract shoe designs. I feel like it's more common there than it is here.
Well, it's like it's a balance, especially in Japan. They like balance, it seems like. So if you have like a red color, you kind of want to balance that with a lighter color. Yeah. So like a blue or a yellow.
Combinations. Like these ones that we're looking at right now. I love that yellowish, goldish color with that super bright aqua green.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
That's fucking awesome, dude. I like it.
I don't know if I'd ever wear them, but they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd wear them. I'd actually wear them. Okay, dude. So let's switch gears a little bit.
Sure. You said you had an interesting story to tell.
I don't know if it's super interesting, but it's just kind of something funny that happened to me today. So a family member had an email, like earlier this week, from a company that was offering like a seminar, like a seminar that you would watch on their website, or in my case, I listened to it on my phone today. Mm-hmm. And it's like about like financial stuff, like about how to trade in the stock market. Oh, okay. Something I'm very interested in eventually learning how to do. It's like a craft all its own.
Right.
There's so much to learn. It's probably going to take me 10 years, but I'm like, thinking if I start now, I kind of already have some background in it. I've studied it a little bit. Mm. If I start now, then maybe, when I'm in my mid 40s, 50s, when my body doesn't work anymore, I will have cultivated these skills so that I can actually, get in there and know what I'm doing, make some trades.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm just kind of restarting that process. And in that process, I'm looking for all the information I can. So there's a seminar offered by this company called Vector Vest.
Ooh, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, I've been fucking checking the mail for years, and I'm getting shit from them. You know, it's kind of like, it's not a scam. Like I've thoroughly looked into them. Like they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. I think they're legit, but it's kind of like a scam in the sense that they're trying to sell you like on trading techniques, like education. Like they're like trying to walk you through like techniques they have that they claim are proven to work.
That's strange.
So I click into this seminar, and at first it started just talking about just like basic principles of being like a successful trader, like professional, just like mostly common sense stuff, but actually phrased very beautifully by this gentleman who was giving the lecture. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. The first 20 minutes were just really informative in that way. Mm-hmm. And then he slowly kind of starts to turn into the sales pitch slowly starts to unfold. So they give you like a little bit. They give you a little something. But I mean, I kind of figured that sort of thing would happen anyway.
Right.
But yeah, it was just kind of a funny thing. And it was weird. You had the option to watch it on your computer, or you could actually call in on your phone. So I was listening with a bunch of other people with the phone on mute.
Oh.
It was kind of like an interesting, like a different way to, than just looking at a screen. So I feel like I learn a little bit better sometimes when I'm just listening to shit though too.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's such a weird thing to hear about. Because I would never think that you could phone into a seminar of any kind.
Yeah, I think in the business community, it's actually a lot more common, like the conference call and just those.
Well, yeah,
I think those
I would
things
understand
probably,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird to call into a seminar.
Yeah.
You know what I think that probably is? It's probably it's probably for people that are a little bit older, maybe people that are in their 60s and their 70s, and they're not about the technology. They're like, I don't want to click into this window and watch this on my computer. It's too much.
Yeah.
My operating system is from 2005, man. I'm not even compatible with this video. I think that the number is probably I'm sure that probably the most of the people that are, interested in a service like that are probably a little bit older.
Right.
Know? And if you're investing in the stock market anyway, and you've got a pretty good like little chunk in it, $1,500 or $2,000 is not a lot of money to drop on education,
Right.
Because in a way, it's one of those weird. It's almost like there's a few jobs that you can get where you can make a shitload of money and not really be beholden to people, but without an education, like you can pretty much become a realtor if you wanted to.
Right.
And it's not. I mean, it's hard to pass the test. It's like 150, 200 question test.
Right.
You got to study, but it's not like traditional college.
Yeah, I
where
guess
you have to go for a couple of years, and then in that job you can instantly go and make a good living for yourself in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Same thing with the stock market. Although I do believe the learning curve is significantly steeper. You're not, because real estate pretty much sells itself.
Yeah.
When it comes to the just financial shit in general, it's just complicated and a lot of it's boring, and it's like you almost don't even want to be in there betting with real money until you've had you've done a lot of research on your own and you fully understand what you're getting into.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of risk.
Well, yeah, there's a huge risk.
Yeah, and I mean, especially there's a lot of trading is done through not artificial intelligence, but there's these computers like quantum. Like, I don't think they're quantum, but they're really fast computers, and they can make a bunch of trades really fast. And I think there's certain companies that utilize that, and it kind of like, I remember watching something where it's kind of gamed the market in a way because they can get the orders in quicker. So there's like, you're competing against that, and that's only going to get worse with time as technology gets better.
Right.
So I don't know. But yeah, I obviously didn't get got by it. I'm not gonna fucking drop that kind of money.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Right now. But I mean, the way they were describing what they were selling, it didn't sound too bad. Like,
how so? What do you mean?
Well, like it was. They're basically like repackaging a method somebody else came up with.
What?
To try to sell socks.
Well, that.
Yeah, they're
like
they're just cherry picking techniques from other
Oh.
people that have worked, and they're telling you about those different methods, and they're walking you through those methods.
Huh.
Yeah.
But the seminar was part of that, and then to sell you on more, I guess. Is that what that was?
Yeah. Well, they give you a little taste.
Oh, okay.
Of what it's gonna be like.
That's dumb. I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's a scam. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a little scammy, right?
Very scammy. I don't like that.
It's interesting though. I'm glad that I sat through it. It's just got to be careful for shit like that.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I did learn a couple of things though. I wouldn't say that I learned them. I kind of instinctually knew that what it takes to be a professional trader is you got to leave your emotion out of it.
Right.
And, you got to have some sort of goal and strategy before you start. You got to say, you can't just, blindly make a trade and say, okay, if I want to make a lot of money, I'm going to sell it when I'm it basically is saying have more like clearly defined and realistic goals when you're in the market, and not like, on every trade trying to fucking, get these huge gains. I mean, that's cool.
Right.
But that's the kind of shit that, it's, you get more lucky sometimes with those sorts of trades, but the mostly like your bread and butter trades are like, you should try to be making trades that gain, less with less gains, but you make those wins more frequently, like have more winning trades in general.
That makes sense.
So I did, it was interesting to hear the guy
right
talk about shit like stuff like that, which is just, mostly common sense shit.
Right.
But the way you said it was pretty good.
Huh. That's
so it was worth
cool.
it for like 20 minutes. I probably should have hung up though. Probably should have hung up on his ass.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Definitely.
So what's up with this coronavirus, Seamus? You think we're gonna get coronavirus?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. There's a chance. There's always a chance.
Jesus Christ, man. It's spreading everywhere.
Yeah. It sucks. I don't like it. I'm not scared. I'm just worried.
Yeah.
So I don't like being sick, and I don't want to get sick.
Do you think that what do you think they could do to combat it? Do you think they just should shut down travel? It seems like a lot of companies, from what I've been hearing, have been saying, like Twitter asked all of its employees to work from home.
Right.
Obviously, and another big one we were just briefly discussing before the start of the podcast was Ultra Miami, which is one of the hugest EDM festivals, probably in the whole world, but definitely in the United States. That's not going down. Right. So it's like, if they're taking those sort of precautions, do you think that they should maybe just block air travel? Like what? How can you contain in such a globalized world? Where people are traveling for business, for pleasure. I mean, can you really shut that sort of thing down? It's crazy to think.
I don't know. I think a lot of the reason that this is such a big problem is because it wasn't handled very well from the get-go. Yeah. Like, the Chinese government knew it was a threat, didn't tell anybody that it was a threat, wasn't releasing correct numbers when it was, when the CDC, or not the CDC, when the World Health Organization was like, hey, what's going on? Yeah. There's a lot more people in the hospital than you're telling us.
The Chinese government, I mean, they don't divulge a lot of shit to their citizens. I mean, from outside looking in, we see, as an American,
it's like a quarter of what's actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. So they have a totally iron tight grip control on the information that it is inseminated. Is that the right word?
Disseminated
in its own country.
Out.
Yeah, but then so it would make sense that it wouldn't be accurate from the beginning.
Yeah. Also what I find interesting is that after the World Health Organization said, hey, this is a big problem, other countries need to like take notice of this and kind of like work with everybody to make sure that this doesn't become a pandemic. Then you have cases like the Japanese government having that cruise ship and isolating the people on the cruise ship. You've heard about the Princess cruise ship, right? Or
briefly.
Diamond Princess cruise ship.
Is there people still on a cruise ship right now?
Yes, there are. And there's like 900 people on the cruise ship, and like 700 of them have confirmed cases.
Oh my God.
And it's like, there was like 7 people on the cruise ship. Now there's 700 that have the disease. And it's because they were kept on the ship. Everybody's still on the ship, and they've been on there for a couple weeks, I think. And it's like, that's why you don't keep people isolated with other people that have the disease.
Oh my God.
So it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's the only thing I'm worried about is that should it hit us and the government goes, you need to be quarantined. Yeah. You're going to get quarantined with people that have the disease, Fuck.
And what if there's some sort of, that makes a really good point. What if there's some sort of big conspiracy happening here?
I don't think it is. I think it's a coincidence that this thing has spread so far, but it's also on the backs of so many ignorant people being like, no, don't spread that information. Nobody needs to know about this. And then people going, it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think. It's going to be gone in a couple months. It's like, there's so many people that are dying from this that it's so much worse than the regular flu. It's going to happen that you're going to get sick. Who knows?
Fuck,
you know,
dude.
It's not a guarantee, but there's a very good chance.
Yeah.
Because Americans especially don't want to sit at home if they have the money to go out and do things.
Oh, definitely not.
Like there's a confirmed case in Miami from somebody from New York.
Off with his balls. I think he should be castrated.
Yeah. He had it in New York, or she had it in New York, and then came to Miami.
Did she know that she had it?
I don't know.
Her ovaries should be taken out.
Yeah.
Ovaries removed. We don't need another person in the world like that.
Balls just all gone.
Off with her balls.
Yeah.
Or his balls. I mean, we live in a gender fluid society. It's better not to assume.
Yeah. But it's just ridiculous that people are still traveling with this disease, especially Americans.
And they know they have the disease.
Yes. If you're sick, don't travel. Don't go anywhere.
God damn it. That's so fucked.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because if they had the disease before they came here, they were on a plane in an isolated environment with a bunch of people that they could have spread it to. So they may have been confirmed in Miami, but everybody else that was on that plane with them also probably has the disease. So it's like this one giant pill of a plane landed and then has this disease. I bet you
there's
spread.
all kinds of cases of it happening that haven't even been reported.
Oh, definitely. Yet. Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are sick that are like, oh no, I just got the flu. And are like going to work because they're at the tail end of it, and they're like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit better. And then, they get their coworkers sick, and now it's a big outbreak at the workplace.
It should be legal if somebody gets you sick with that. It should be legal to be able to extract some sort of revenge, possibly with a blunt instrument. Not a sharp instrument, but
just a blunt one.
Yeah, something
semi-soft.
Something that can crush. I don't want something that actually is like breaking blood.
Right.
Something that can crush bones.
Crush bones? That's even worse.
Well, maybe okay.
I think like a soap bar and a sock.
Yeah, yeah. No. I think it should. Yeah, maybe something a little bit more stiff than that though, because I want if somebody gives you the coronavirus and you know that you have it from them, and they know that they gave it to you, and they knowingly were out in public.
Right.
I feel like it should just, there should be legislation passed tomorrow that says you could take something in. I don't want them to die. I don't even want them to maybe have more than maybe a broken bone or I want them to have some sort of pain.
Yeah.
If they gave me the fucking coronavirus and I don't, I want them to have to, be nice to take that aggression out, but not go too far. I feel like there should be a fine line in the legislation where,
right,
you don't take it past a certain point. Because sometimes when you're beating the shit out of somebody, the momentum, and you could really get caught up in the momentum and hurt them way worse than you planned. But
yeah, well, that's where like oranges in a sock, you just swing that around and hit them.
I wonder how painful that is.
It's painful enough to leave a bruise.
Yeah,
I think that's like the most. Yeah, because. It seems like it's just an elevated flu. Yeah. Which already the flu's bad. And if you get like a bad flu, then it's like really bad. But this sounds like a really, really bad flu.
I had pneumonia once, dude.
Oh, really?
And oh my fucking God, dude. It was by far the worst feeling I've ever physically felt.
Jeez.
And I mean, like, dude, on a fucking 1 to 10 scale, it was a 10, dude. I remember like being in the emergency room. And literally, they put me in a wheelchair, and every movement like I had was like screaming loud. Like they wanted to move me from one chair to the other. It was like because it just hurts. So every part of my body just ached.
That sucks.
So I don't know if anything could be worse than that, dude. It was really fucking awful, dude.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, you ever had pneumonia?
No. I try my hardest not to be sick.
Yeah, serious.
Because I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate being sick. And I get sick like once or twice a year, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's already too much, man.
Yeah, it is. I hate it.
So yeah, I think oranges. Maybe a remote with I don't know, like some like weights
shot collar
taped to it. A shot collar, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting option. In the legislation, you could actually have a shot collar addendum where you could put the shot collar on. Mm-hmm. What if you had like if it was a guy, you could have like shot collar for his balls.
Oh. I don't know about that.
Or maybe that's a little too cruel. Maybe on the wrists.
Yeah, I think wrists.
And then you should be able to control it.
Right.
You should be able to do it 100 times in 1 week. Because if you did it 100, if you could just do it unlimited times, you could just just keep the buzzer on. That's such a fucking horrible thing. The shock collar.
It is. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's hilarious for videos.
My uncle got this. Got pup. Some like real expensive training, like dog training one time.
Yeah.
This lady was like super adamant about the shock collar.
Oh, really?
So we have a really nice high quality shock collar, and I just use it a couple times with him. I'm like, he's not a bad enough dog to where I need this. But then I called and told her that. She's like, no, you need to use it. And I'm like,
That's a woman that doesn't like dogs.
She loves dogs. She would fucking this woman adored dogs. She adored pup. You could tell that somebody when they really love dogs,
right?
Know? And she really didn't know what she was talking about. But in this particular instance, I just don't feel right doing that to this guy. It looks like it hurts, and I felt it a couple times, so I had an idea of the kind of pressure. I'm like, even when it was on 1 or 2, it was still pretty fucked up. I can't inflict that on my dog.
No, especially pup. He's so good.
Yeah,
such a good boy.
Sometimes he just wants to fucking be an asshole. Right. If he has even the slightest inkling that I'm distracted, then he thinks that he can just go chase after lizards or pull me on the leash. I'm like, gotta stop him and let him know. No.
Right.
I'm watching, motherfucker.
I am the one in charge.
I am the one in charge, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. How long has this been, Seamus? How long has this podcast been?
36 minutes.
36 minutes?
Yeah. It's a long one.
New York City. Remember that commercial? New York City.
I don't think so.
Before your time.
Yeah. It probably was.
Stupid.
Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for listening to the incoherent ramblings of a desperate man here. Just kidding. Thank you for listening to the Lost in Phoenix podcast. We are Lost in Phoenix.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we are Lost in Phoenix. Check us out next time when we talk about, who knows, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.